This is a video presentation of Chapter 8, Section 4 in the 8th grade textbook entitled Three-Dimensional Figures. So we've been looking at two-dimensional figures for quite a while now here, and now here we are on the cusp of starting three-dimensional figures. And really what we spend most of our time with when we're talking about three-dimensional figures is finding surface area and volume. Now, of course, those three-dimensional shapes are really just made up of a bunch of two-dimensional shapes. And a lot of the calculations that are involved with finding volume and surface area require us to have that knowledge of the 2D shapes. Without it, we won't be able to find the different things that we need to when we're working with the three-dimensional shapes. So, let's go ahead and start talking about the basics of our three-dimensional figures. As you can see, we've got quite a few definitions to cover here in Chapter 8, Section 4. Alright, so the first definition is face. Face is the flat surface of a three-dimensional figure. A flat surface of a three-dimensional figure. So really the sides of the shape is what they're defining there when they're talking about face. Edge, that's the line segment along which two faces of a three-dimensional figure intersect. The line segment along which two faces of a three-dimensional figure intersect. So let's say we're talking about a cube, which you know is really just 6 squares put together. All right, where the top square meets the square on the right, that line, where, as I've said in the past, where the shape changes direction really, all right, that line there is called an edge. Vertex on a three-dimensional figure, the intersection of three or more faces. That's kind of the fancy way of saying corner. It's a corner in the shape. Vertex on a three-dimensional figure, the intersection of three or more faces. Base on a three-dimensional figure, the shape used to classify a figure. On a three-dimensional figure, the shape used to classify a figure. The base is exactly usually where it sounds like it would be, at the bottom, and that's how we name the shape. For instance, if we have a pyramid shape and the bottom is a pentagon, then that's a pentagonal pyramid. If we have triangles going all around, which would indicate a pyramid, and the bottom is a square, then it's a square pyramid. All right, but that piece at the bottom, which is the base, is how we name or call that shape. Alright, so now they give definitions to the shapes we study here in Chapter 8. Prism, that's a geometric solid that has two congruent polygon-shaped bases and other faces that are all parallelograms. A geometric solid that has two congruent polygon-shaped bases and other faces that are all parallelograms. So the cube is what we usually think of there, but that top and bottom or front and back, depending on how it's pictured, doesn't necessarily have to be a four-sided shape to be a prism. It could be a triangle. All right? If it has triangles at the top and the bottom and then rectangles going all the way around, it's still a prism. It would actually be a triangular prism then. And again, just like the example I talked about earlier with the pyramid, all right, we can make that front and back or top and bottom depending on how we pictured anything and name the shape accordingly. Pyramid, that's a geometric solid that has a polygon-shaped base and triangular sides that all meet at a common vertex. A geometric solid that has a polygon-shaped base and triangular sides that all meet at a common vertex. Cylinder, so think of your soup can in the pantry, that's exactly what we're talking about. Cylinder is a geometric solid that has two parallel congruent circular bases and is connected by a curved lateral surface. A geometric solid that has two parallel congruent circular bases and is connected by a curved lateral surface. And cone, most of you are probably thinking of your ice cream cone right away. That you're right on target there. All right, cone is a geometric solid that has one vertex and one circular base. Cone is a geometric solid that has one vertex and one circular base. And now we go from shapes to just another general term here. Orthogonal views. That's a drawing that shows how a three-dimensional figure looks from different perspectives. A drawing that shows how a three-dimensional figure looks from different perspectives. And we'll actually be doing those drawings as we go through the examples here today and in the homework tonight as well. All right, so in number 1 here, they're asking us to classify the three-dimensional figure. All right, well, that's not too bad. There's a couple things they want you to see here. You can see that the bottom piece, the base, which is usually where the base would be, that bottom piece is a pentagon. All right, and that's what we're going to use in the naming. All right, but what's really important about this shape is that the other faces are triangles going around. Well, the only one that has triangles going around is a pyramid. So if we put that together from what we learned in the first line there, that's a pentagonal pyramid. All right, that's a pyramid where the base is a pentagon. And again, this base can be pretty much any sided figure. The only shape that you can't really put in there would be a circle, because then it's going to be something else entirely. But whether you have 3 sides down there, a triangular pyramid, or 4 sides, or 5 sides like this one, or 6, a hexagonal pyramid, and on up, all right, that's how we name the shape. All right, take a look at number 2 here. We're supposed to draw the figure shown in the front, top, and side views.